back again on a webinar Wednesday. For any of you that don't know, I'm Kat. I think a few faces in here will have seen me quite a few times now. I am one of the cruise connoisseurs here at Panache Cruises, and I am the resident river expert. Today we are welcoming Hugh and Lucia from A-Rosa, who is one of our new river partners to Panache Cruises. Thank you very much for both of you joining us. Firstly, for any of you that don't know, that haven't booked with us before or haven't inquired before, Panache Cruises is I think we're now nearly up to a year in trading. Our founder James Cole has been in the industry for many years. Founded some very successful cruise brands, and now everyone at Panache Cruises is lucky enough to work with him again from when we previously used to work with him. Personally, I've worked as a river cruise consultant for, I would say, around about 5-6 years now. Been on multiple different ships, 20 odd different ships. I've been on A-Rosa as well, so I know exactly what you guys are going to see. Just as a little insight for us, we are connoisseurs, and when we work to provide the best for you as customers. We treat you as we wish to be treated, so nothing is too much trouble for us. We want to make your dream holiday become a reality. So after this, if there's any questions or you like the look of what you see, come to me. I'll help build up your dream holiday, and then hopefully we can get you away sometime soon, fingers crossed. When you call us, you're never going to have to wait in a queue, and the first person you speak to will continue to be your connoisseur throughout. You'll never have to wait in a queue again. You'll have our direct phone numbers, you'll have our email contact, and there'll just be that one-on-one communication, which helps everyone out. We also have at the moment multiple book with confidence messages from all our cruise line partners, including A-Rosa, and hopefully you'll hear their confidence messages within the presentation. You know what's going on board and when they're looking at sailing next as well. After the presentation, I'll send you the copy of it with a few different bits of information in there as well. We also at the moment are building a brochure that will have a lot of the cruise line confidence messages in it. So if there's anything that you're unsure about, we should be able to provide the answer for you. Finally, as we do go through the presentation, if you do scroll over the bottom of your screen, there is a like a Q&A box, or if you want to, just a private chat box, and anything that you want to ask. It potentially, I mean, usually it gets answered throughout the presentation, but at the end, I can ask Hugh or Lucia any questions that come up that I may not know the answer to. So I will now hand over to Lucia, I think it is first, and I hope everyone enjoys the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kat, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely delighted to be with you this afternoon, courtesy of Panache, who Kat so eloquently explained. We are partners now for the first time, and we are so excited about this partnership because, Kat, as you explained before, when we first explored the opportunities of a partnership with you guys, it became so clear that our ethos is the same towards our guests, was amazing customer service. Like you say, nothing is ever too much, and our common goal here is to offer our guests a wonderful holidays on the rivers of Europe, and this is what we do at A-Rosa. So my name is Lucia, as Kat introduced me. I'm the managing director of A-Rosa River Cruises in the UK and Ireland, and together with my colleague Hugh, I'm absolutely delighted to be with you this afternoon, and thank you so much for investing the time in this webinar. It will be our absolute pleasure to take you on a wonderful journey along our product and of course along the wonderful destinations that we are sailing through. Now, Kat alluded to it as well. The restart is looming, and in fact we are so happy to report that we actually announced our restart yesterday. So we know now that we can restart our European river cruises of next June. On the majority of the rivers, it's going to be the middle of June, and in France, it's going to be the end of June. It's quite spectacular news, but also we would like to reassure you that this is actually our second restart. In other words, we were already sailing last year for 5 months, so it was a considerable amount of our season that we were able to sail successfully and to offer our guests wonderful river cruise holidays without, and this is very important, without any kind of COVID cases on board or on shore, which is, I think, you know, you'll agree with me, absolutely fantastic, because this was before a vaccine was even on the horizon. Now this year we will have, as I said, our second restart mid-June, with all the vaccination campaign that is ever so successful in the UK, obviously, but also mainland Europe is catching up. So we are very, very confident that with our vast health and safety protocols that we already have a lot of experience with, we are going to be able to get you away safely while still offering you an amazing holiday on the rivers. So just to take you through our afternoon together, our webinar will consist of 3 little parts. I will start with a brief video about our brand, followed by the main characteristics, what make A-Rosa so different, what makes A-Rosa so special on the European rivers. And then my colleague Hugh is going to guide you through the most beautiful destinations that you can explore on board of our A-Rosa ship. Now, before Hugh plays this video, just if you're listening to that music, it was composed specifically for our fleet of vessels. So we have a fleet of 12 vessels. This particular piece of music was composed as some sort of anthem and is being played every time when we leave a destination, and in anticipation to discovering the next destination, the ship is playing this beautiful piece of music. So please enjoy, and I see you right after the video.
Following my heart, following my heart, on windblown waves, so wild and free. Following my heart, joining worlds apart. That's what waits for me. Following my heart, following my heart, on board a rose that sails the sea.
Well, we certainly hope that you enjoyed our video, and now an introduction into what A-Rosa is all about. I was lucky enough to be part of the startup team, so I can tell you 1 or 2 things about why A-Rosa was set up the way it was set up, but also why we are so different from every other river cruise proposition that is around in Europe at the moment. So we are celebrating our 20th years anniversary this year. So we have a lot of experience on European rivers. We are a German-based company based in Rostock in Germany. We have a fleet of 12 vessels, and we established the whole company, the whole product, with the idea that river cruising is a most wonderful way to travel, to explore, to learn, to develop oneself. And you can only do that if there is flexibility on the way. So we wanted to eliminate from the start all those preconceptions about river cruising, that it might be not such an interesting product and a very regimental product, if you like. We took that all on board. We do know that our guests, and nowadays guests, expect a lot of variety, a lot of experience, a lot of choice. So this is what A-Rosa is all about. This is how we founded our company. So I would like to take just a brief moment to tell you all about our premium all-inclusive offer. We are a company doing everything ourselves, meaning that we offer exceptional value. We don't work with any third parties, meaning that we can pass on all the savings to our guests. This is why we can offer, for these amazing rates that Hugh will explain a bit later, we can offer a literally premium all-inclusive product with drinks all day, not just with meals. The Wi-Fi is included. There's a full entertainment included every evening on board, and many experiences along the day. We are one of the very few river cruise lines with an original spa on board every single ship. And we also offer a lot of activities in our gyms and in lots of fitness classes on board of our sun decks. So lots to do and to explore whilst on board. Now, we just think that the customer is king, as always, and they should be able to make their choices. So when you book a holiday with us, it will be about your choices. It will be about your time and how you want to spend it. We take you to that destination. We show you how to best explore it, but you will make the choices, as in how and in which way and how long to spend with each activity. If you could put the next slide on, Hugh, thank you. We have some amazing quality on board in terms of, we keep telling our guests that made in Germany is actually all that we have to say. It's like the German cars, isn't it? If you have a car made in Germany, you know exactly what you're getting. You are getting a very high quality product for an amazing price. And on top of that, our fantastic customer service and our experience on board make it just a delight to be in a very casual environment. So without any butlers on board, or without waiters with white gloves, everything is of the highest possible qualities, but it's very casual and very relaxing. What we are also very good at is something that not many of our customers think about in the first place when they think about river cruises. And we are literally the leaders in family and multi-generational cruises. We have discovered this for ourselves for quite a while. We know that our very relaxed approach and our unregimental way of guiding customers on board and on land allow multi-generational groups to have a really fantastic time. So during school holidays, we are giving the most amazing time to families, so to children, their parents, grandparents, and many of friends groups and other groups that choose to spend the time with us. We have introduced, because of the high demand, we have introduced kids clubs during holiday times. We have special kids menus, we have teenage bikes on board. So everything is geared towards having something for everybody, which obviously is fabulous, you know, for discerning families who want to explore the wonderful destination of Europe and what they offer. it's wonderful to have a base like A-Rosa who does just that. You know, be your home for a week or two in Europe. Everything's allowed, everything's encouraged, exploration full on. So yes, this is what we do. The only thing that we don't include in our premium all-inclusive package are the shore excursions, because we are the specialist in European river cruise holidays. We recognize that there is such a vast choice of excursions to be had, on off-board experiences to be had, that we give everybody the possibility of booking these local experiences whilst they come on board. The booking process is very easy. You know, the night before, everybody decides if they want to go on an excursion next day. These excursions are being explained in greatest detail on the first day after embarkation, and everybody can choose what is right for themselves. We have clustered our shore excursions into various clustered, like gourmet visits to local markets, or walking tours, adventures by bike, and so on and so forth. So there is literally something for everybody there. Right, last but not least, we have been pioneering the flexible style of cruises for 20 years now, and we are certainly not resting on our laurels. So what we are doing, absolutely brand new for 2022, is another pioneering introduction from A-Rosa. Our next generation of ships is absolutely tailor-made for multi-generational cruises. This is so for families and multi-gens alike. So I think if one of the things that this pandemic and this really challenging time has taught us is that, you know, there's no time like today. Just grab the moment, grab your loved ones, grab your families. When we're allowed to go, let's go and have a wonderful time together. And this new generation of ship is just about this. It's celebrating a wonderful holiday, a wonderful moment together as a family or as a group of friends, and it is coming for us in May 2022. Now, not only that is aimed towards multi-generational markets and families, but it is also very much around the sustainability aspect. Now, we've very much enjoyed talking about our partnership, I told you at the beginning, with Panache, because they are following the same ethos. They are a company who care, and this is who A-Rosa is as well. We do care, and we do care not just about our business and our customers and our guests, but we care about our partners, we care about the destination that we're cruising in, we care about the rivers that we're cruising in, we care about preserving it for future generations. So this new generation of ships will be the first river cruise ship ever to be partly battery operated, in line with our pioneering sustainability concept that we are introducing, not just with this new generation of ship, but by and by the sustainability is absolutely being applied in every aspect of our holiday making, not just the ships. So this is coming next year. It's the first ship being introduced with this new kind of type of propulsion. We will approach and depart every generation by using the battery power, thus eliminating pollution, eliminating noise. And this is just the beginning. So we are very much looking forward to developing this into the years to come, and obviously to partnering up with such brilliant partners like Panache. So I think this was all from me, and I would like to say a big thank you for your attention this afternoon. I do hope to see you very, very soon with Panache on board of one of our ships, and I will leave you into the very capable hands of my colleague Hugh, who is now going to take you through the absolute wonders of the European waterways. Thank you. Hugh, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lucia. Hello, everybody, and it's nice to be with you today. As you can see from the slide here, anybody that's joining us today, we have a special offer, which is only bookable through Panache, which is double our super early booking discount. So I hope that will appeal. It's available on any 2022 departure that you book with Panache up to the end of this month. But I'm going to take you on a journey through, a very quick journey through our rivers of Europe, the ones that we're operating on. As you can see from this map, we operate on the Rhine, the Main, the Moselle, the Danube, the Seine, the River Rhone and the River Douro in Portugal. All the most popular rivers with some fantastic products, as you're about to see. So let's start with the River Rhine. Obviously, historically, it's one of the most popular rivers, and you'll see as you travel down, particularly the Middle Rhine, a riverbank dotted with castles, particularly. And of course, this goes back to history, because in the past, before the modern Germany, each area was controlled by a sort of a local fiefdom, and they all had a castle. So as you went along the river, they'd all try and charge you a toll, for example. And so hence you've got castles dotted around across beautiful landscapes of vineyards and small twinkly towns that you will stop at on a river cruise. It's only on a river cruise that you can really do that. So the Rhine obviously extends, starts in Switzerland, actually in a very small town in the Alps, and then flows all the way down to the sea in the Netherlands. One area that is very popular actually for the British market and for British people in 2022 is going to be Floriade. And unlike a lot of other river cruise lines, we've actually got two cruises that will go into the Dutch and Belgian waterways during the Floriade season, which runs from May until October next year. So if you're interested in gardens particularly, and particularly going to see Floriade, it's a lovely way to do it, because you can go and explore the Dutch and Belgian waterways, go and have some time in Antwerp in Belgium, and also some of the places like Hoorn across the IJsselmeer in the Netherlands, to see sort of traditional Dutch cruising, but at the same time go and spend some time and have an excursion to this very important expo, which only happens once every 10 years. Also, if you're interested in gardens, a very popular time obviously for river cruising is springtime. And we have a 5-night program which operates, as you can see from the slide, in the core period when the Keukenhof Gardens in just again very close to Amsterdam are in full bloom, and you can have an excursion from Amsterdam. So that is a very popular cruise that I would highly recommend people talking to Panache about. Again, it sails from Cologne, but the reason that some people might say, well, why are you sailing from Cologne? Well, one of the options that it only takes an overnight sailing to get to Amsterdam, so you're not missing out on any of the scenic cruising, and yet you're getting the advantages of obviously a great value cruise, as Lucia mentioned, with all your drinks included. Further south, the Rhine obviously flows all the way to Switzerland, and this is one of our most popular 7-night programs. It runs season-wide, and as you can see, we call it Experience the Southern Rhine. You embark in Cologne and then sail all the way down through Mainz, which obviously is the home to the inventor of the printing press, which is very interesting. They have an overnight stay in Strasbourg, sorry, and visit Basel, Briach and Koblenz. This image is actually of Basel, which is a very beautiful place to spend a day in Switzerland. As you go through the Middle Rhine, there is a legend, I don't think anybody's heard of the legend of Lorelei, but here it's basically a rock on the edge of the river, and it is where a siren used to slay passing fishermen to their death, very sadly, in the past. It's a legend, obviously. Nowadays, all that will happen is that you'll be up on the sun deck, and we will provide lovely sparkling wine, and you'll toast the legend. So there's nothing to fear here, but it's actually a lovely experience, the sort of thing you get on an A-Rosa cruise. One or two, when you go past a particular historic site, they'll make sure that you're up on the deck to understand the stories and really feel the experience. It's really nice. And on this cruise, we have an overnight stay in Strasbourg, as I said. The other image there is Colmar, which with all their lovely Alsatian architecture, with the half-timbered houses, etc. And obviously that's Strasbourg Cathedral. So more time to explore. This is a very attractive area to look to see. The Rhine has two main tributaries, the Moselle and the Main, and on the River Main, it really is for people who love history. If you're really into medieval history, then this is the one for you. And we operate, as you can see, a number of cruises, which we call Romance on the Main, that go from Cologne to Nuremberg or vice versa. And they really do visit some wonderful places. There's actually 4 UNESCO heritage sites on this cruise. And you can see that's an image of Bamberg there with the ancient houses. It also has got, it's a walled old city and beautifully preserved. This is the sort of thing you're going to see. This is Marienburg Fortress, commanding over the river, very attractive, and quite a challenge to get up there, I would say. But I think lucky enough, if you go on an excursion, you can take a coach quite easily. And then we move to the Moselle, which is very much a river of beauty, a river of wine. You'll see the riverbanks flanked with vineyards, and a particular good time to go is sort of October time. That's when they have the harvest time. But it's also home to Germany's oldest town or city called Trier, which is the image on the top right-hand side. And then you can see the other image I've put up here is of Koblenz, and that's actually where the two rivers meet. So you've got the Rhine going right down, and then the Moselle on the right. And it's a very interesting place because you can go across the river on a cable car, and takes you up to this large fortress, which is where the viewer, you can see the viewer is there. And really a look around this massive expanse of river. It's really, really interesting. So a lovely product, lovely cruise. We have a 5-night program, regular departures through 2022, which I hope people would find interesting. And of course, one of the most popular things to do on a river cruise is at Christmas time. And the German Christmas markets are world famous. That's Mainz Christmas market there. We have a program in 21 and 22. If you're interested, a 4-night program that goes south. One great opportunity is an opportunity to go and visit Heidelberg, which is a lovely university city just a few miles out of Mannheim. And also you get a chance to spend time exploring the Christmas markets in Strasbourg. The other one, obviously, that is really, really famous is the Cologne Christmas market. In fact, there's 4 markets there, the most popular one being the one by the cathedral. So highly recommended that short cruise. So if we move to the Danube now, and you can see from this image, that's actually an image of the Danube Delta. It actually runs, it starts in southern Germany, sorry, and runs for about 1,800 miles, 1,800 miles all the way through to the Black Sea, as you can see from the map. We have a range of cruises that I hope will appeal to you. So the first one is Danube, classic Danube. And the image there is of the Wachau Valley in Austria, highly scenic part of the world and absolutely beautiful to sail through. This program runs weekly, and it operates, as you can see from the itinerary, from Vienna, in fact. So you can join the ship in Vienna and sail up sail down to Budapest, and then some really interesting ports of call. But it's a classic cruise, incredibly popular. You're going to get a great combination of scenery, history, iconic cities, and one or two new ones as well. The other thing is you can stay overnight, as Lucia was saying. With A-Rosa, we have a lot more overnight stays, I think, than many other river operators. And so Vienna, this is Belvedere Palace. There's so much to do in Vienna that people often say to us, well, half a day's not enough, a day's not enough, I need more time. Well, with us, that's possible, as you can see, either on an organized excursion or exploring yourselves independently. And then we go to Budapest, and this is Budapest Castle. Obviously, the most exciting thing, I think, for being on a river cruise on a classic Danube is that the ship's obviously more on the river, right in the center of town, so the city. So at night time, can you imagine in the summer, with the twinkling lights of the stars, and you've got both sides of the river on either side with the castle on the left. It's quite a magical feeling, and something that is very hard to if you stayed in a hotel, you wouldn't get that same impression. It's really lovely, and the river's all lit up. It's a gorgeous environment. Further on from Budapest, we run a number of cruises that go all the way to the Black Sea or go to the Iron Gates. That image there is actually of the Iron Gates, known as a dramatic part of the Danube River, where as you can see, these sort of gorges, the river thins, and you can see the gorges that we sail through. So it's quite an adventure going through there, very scenic. And then when you get beyond the Iron Gates, you get into lesser visited areas of Serbia, Romania. In fact, there's 6 countries in one cruise, where we'll stop at small villages and you'll explore local areas, all the way, as you saw from the first map, to the Black Sea. And the big draw. By the way, our best offer in terms of savings would be on this cruise, which is a 16-night program, which we call Voyage to the Danube Delta. And one of the joys if you're into wildlife, is the Danube Delta itself. And when you get there, there's an opportunity to take an excursion to view the wildlife. It really is one of Europe's most, how can I put it, undiscovered areas of wildlife, if you like. So it's quite unspoiled. And so an excursion there is really, really good. But the good thing about our 16-night program is that it goes to the Danube Delta, and you then can come back, it then returns it through different ports of call. So it's really, you see everything in one trip with really, with no problems, no fuss at all. It's a very one-stop shop, if you like, in terms of a cruise. And on the way back, on your way to Engelhartsel, which is the final port of call, you visit culture as well, and this is Melt Abbey, which is a great draw. And the thing about A-Rosa, just to mention, is that in every port of call, as Lucia said, we don't include the excursions, they're optional, so you can pick and choose. So in Melk, it's very easy, the actual abbey is very close to where we moor, so it's very easy to just take yourself up there and have a look around yourself. You don't have to join an excursion every time, and that flexibility people love. And it's also, you know, it just means that you're not paying for excursions that you don't need when you travel with A-Rosa. Now we're going to France, and the Rhone and Saône rivers, which is obviously a classic Mediterranean, sunny images of wine, history, culture, and sunshine, something we need desperately at the moment. This is our most popular season-wide program on the A-Rosa Stella. You can see the ship there. It runs from April to October, starting in Lyon and ending in Lyon. It goes north, first of all, up onto the Saône River and to Chalon and Masson, and then down back to Lyon, and then further down south to Avignon and Arles. I do apologize about the dog, if you can hear it. Anyway, one of the advantages of this program is we have an overnight stay in Avignon, where there's an opportunity obviously to visit the Pope's Palace. And when we stay in Avignon, we're staying right in the center of town. So you can quite easily get off the ship at any time and just stroll into town. It's one of the joys again of river cruising, is it's very easy to just take have dinner on board and then go for a stroll. And the ambiance in Avignon in the summer is absolutely a delight. And of course we go to Arles, which is famous for its Roman history and Roman architecture. That's the amphitheatre, but also Van Gogh. And you'll see when you're there lots of memories of his time there, and images and people wanting to do painting their own versions of Van Gogh paintings, which is actually very good. Obviously, this area is also known for wine, and when you're in the Saône River, we stop at various places. In fact, those areas, Chalon and Masson, in the past were big ports for wine, because the river used to be used, obviously, as a big transport network to take the Rhine down to the sea. Not so much these days, but certainly an opportunity to really experience viticulture and go to see some of the famous vineyards. And then we go north in France to the River Seine. This is probably my favorite river, if I'm brutally honest with you, and I'll tell you why in a second. That picture actually of a town, a little village called Les Andelys, which we stop, and that's the one, the A-Rosa Viva there, mooring. Just gives you a good example of how in this particular place, you see, you wouldn't need to get an excursion if you didn't want one. You could literally just go and explore yourself. The only thing is, this picture's been taken from a castle which was built by Richard the Lionheart, and there's a rather steep climb, so you'd have to be quite get your walking boots on for that one if you wanted to go and see the castle for yourself. But it's very beautiful, as you can see. One of the other areas of beauty, if you like your gardens, is that you stop at a place called Vernon, and that's the gateway for Giverny, which is where Monet had his house and garden, spent most of his life. And of course, everybody will remember the famous water lily bridge over the water lilies painting that he painted. This is actually his garden with the house in the background. The program we have is a 7-night cruise. It runs from Paris all the way up to Col-de-Bec-en-Queue, which is the gateway to Honfleur and the Normandy beaches. And as I say, the Seine is full of scenery, beauty, but also you do get 2 days in Paris. So you get a bit of a combination of a city break in Paris with some cruising, some sort of quiet luxury cruising. And overnights are very important again. So we have an overnight stay in Rouen and an overnight stay in Paris on this program. That's the Louvre, obviously, in Paris. And Rouen is surprisingly interesting. It has many different things, like beautiful an old city. It has a history of Joan of Arc, lovely botanical gardens, and it's famous for its many clock towers. One of them you can see there. And as I say, one of the optional excursions I would recommend is when you get to Col de Bec-en-Cœur, is taking a full day pretty much up to the Normandy coast. This is a view of Honfleur. And on this particular trip, you can actually go to Honfleur and also to the stylish resort of Deauville, but also visit a Calvados distillery with Calvados tastings, which actually I've done myself, and I would recommend it. So that's the River Seine. And finally, last but not least, let's go to the River Douro, the beautiful River Douro. It is a stunning part of Europe, in northern Portugal. There you can see the ship sailing through these terraced vineyards on the river. It's not a massive stretch of river, which is quite interesting. But the program starts in Porto, and that's where you'd fly to. We have a program that runs season-wide, again, from April to October. And it operates really from Porto all the way to a place called Barça d'Alva, which is the gateway, which is on the border between Portugal and Spain. And from there, you can take a full-day excursion, which I'd heartily recommend, to Salamanca, which is an old university city in Spain. But it's largely pretty much 100% Portuguese. And in fact, obviously, at the moment, with Portugal opening up, if anybody is interested, this would be a very good choice if you were looking to take advantage of our special offer today. On the trip, there's a whole range of different interesting optional excursions available. This is just one example. Matthias Palace and Gardens, an old Baroque palace here, as you can see, which you would take from the ship. The places you'll visit aren't famous places on the cruise. The ports of call are local ports, a lot of them small villages. One of them, perhaps the most famous, is Pinhão. And there you have a lovely old railway station. In fact, the railway runs right by the river, which is lovely, and it's you can imagine in the warm summer, just strolling around a sleepy village, off the ship, is just such a joy. And a lot of things haven't really changed in this part of Europe for many years, and you get that sense of feeling that it's so you're sort of discovering something by going on a cruise on the Douro. As mentioned, we have an optional visit to the University City of Salamanca. That actually is one of the university buildings. Which is a fascinating day out, and for a lot of, if you haven't been to Salamanca, then this would be a great way of doing it. And finally, we always say to people, well, if you're thinking when's the best time to go, if you love your wine and you like an experience with wine, then go in September and October, because that's harvest time. Douro wines, have become much more popular. In fact, you can get them in main supermarkets nowadays. They are unique in their own style, and it's largely due to the way in which the topography of the mountains on the Douro Valley are, and how the wind from the sea comes in off the mountains. So basically we can take an excursion to see the grape harvest, and those people that are intrepid could very happily take their shoes and socks off and tread the grapes, which is a great experience you get on a river cruise. So I hope that's been of interest and of help. I just wanted to end because for me, and I've been involved in river cruising for many years, river cruising is very inspiring. So I actually wrote a poem about river cruising, as you can see here, which, if it's okay with you, I will just quickly recite. So it's called O Mighty River. O mighty river, how you inspire me, you gentle giant from source to sea. O ever-changing river, with your banks of green, and cities, villages, gentle hills in between. O timeless river, reveal your past, of castles, legends, and illustrious art. O shimmering river, you light up my life, with sunrises, sunsets, and twinkling lights. O scenic river, flanked by vines, to sit, to taste, and tread in harvest time. O mighty river, I so love thee, your beauty, peace, tranquility, free. I hope that's been of interest. Like me, I think if you go on a river cruise, you will, if you've not been on one before, hopefully you'll feel as inspired and you'll love the scenery and beauty and areas of interest that you'll see. Thank you very much for listening today. Back to Kat.
Thanks very much, Hugh. That was great. Thank you for the poem at the end. Very nice touch. Just so everyone knows, Hugh had gone through a couple of different prices there for some of those amazing savings that A-Rosa have to offer. What I will do is I'll ask you to send those over to me, and I will get them into an email when we send over the presentation to you. For anyone who hasn't been able to join, If you do have any questions, I will have my email address and my phone number if you want to give me a call about any of these. But thank you very, very much for your time here. It's very, very much appreciated, and to Lucia as well. And hopefully we'll be talking to you soon with some of our customers booking on board.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.